Hello guys, Varun Kirti here. In this video, we're going to talk about what to write to the hiring manager if you have already found them for a role where you are a really great fit. What can you tell them that would invite them, like that would make them give you an interview call, right? I'm going to show you with examples, and this method works much better than having a referral because the problem with referrals, as we all know, is we only know a couple of companies where we can get our contact with the hiring manager, and then even then they only work because when you are a fit. If you are not a fit, then referrals won't work either, and if you are a fit, then this method beats referrals any single day. So let's crack right into it now. This approach will only work for you if you actually are a good fit for the role. If you're not a good fit, then just spam messaging. That's not what we are looking to do here, right? And of course, you gotta take a customer first approach. Like, hey, like you want to show them that, hey, I understand your problem, and then your messaging should follow up with a lucid and crisp understanding about you in a very short few words. Can you capture the key essence as to, like, hey, if you know these two or three things about me, that would make you want to give me a call for an interview. And if the role is perfectly aligning, then these things are much easier to nail. And so let's crack right into it. What hiring managers want to know before we move on to actually drafting a message, this is one of the key things. Like, we have done like thousands and thousands of outreach, and one thing we understood from that data is, like, a couple things that hiring managers are interested in is they look for proven experience, especially in current day job market when things are so hyper competitive. Competition is ruthless. For any role there are thousands of candidates, so a hiring manager can literally, like, they're not suffering with, like, hey, I can't find the right candidate. The problem they want to solve now is, like, hey, how relevant of a candidate, how closely aligning of a candidate can I find? And that's what they're looking for. So they assess you by uh, based on the key initiatives that you have led or driven in your past, as well as the environment that you have been in. So if those two things are very much aligning to what they're looking to do, they want to talk to you, and that's what we'll essentially capture in our messaging, right? So here I want to present some examples of, like, what does a key initiative mean. Key initiative could be like, um, you did something transformational, example like cloud migration, right? You established a first of a kind capability for a business, like, let's just say you put in an SRE practice, right? Or you matured the technology. Perhaps you led the company through a growth phase or a pre-IPO due diligence or mergers and acquisition situation going around, right? Or you launched SaaS product. You get the idea. It's the kind of like a key initiative that you did that may be relevant to them now, or what you already did in the past. And then there are examples of, like, the environment. So depending on what kind of company or the environment they see themselves as, and if you happen to be relevant in that environment, then that's great, right? So let's just say if they're looking for an industry specific fit, or they're looking for, hey, I want somebody from consulting environment or a corporate IT environment, right? I want somebody from a mid-sized company environment, small company environment. I want someone who has handled 300 people team or 50 people team. There's differences from there, right? So these are all the examples of environment. So we want to showcase these two fits. And for that, I use this, like, simple four-step messaging framework where we want to call out their problem, because people pay attention to things that are relevant to them, and the problems are the most relevant thing to anyone. Like, anybody who has a toothache, they want to see their dentist, right? If you are a toothpaste company that addresses, like, hey, do you want white teeth, a person with toothache is not going to respond to that. But hey, do you have toothache, because we have this toothpaste that serves toothache, then they are interested. So that's why, like, we will call out the problem right off the bat, right? Then we want to showcase that alignment. So those key initiatives and environment that I was talking about, that's where we plug it in the message. And then we support our reasoning as to, like, hey, why are we, like, what other information can I provide you? So those would be other additional examples, as well as your unique view on the role that further strengthens your argument. And then you ask for an easy call to action, because, like, of course, if you're reaching out to the hiring manager, they're very busy people. Their time is critical, so you want them to act in a short amount of time. The action that you ask them to do should be very easy, right? So that's the general idea. So here we have an example of a job description. This is a senior vice president of enterprise data and analytics for at Macy's, really large company, really high profile position. And so let's break down this job description. So I'm gathering some of the clues here, right? If you read closely through this job description, what they're looking for is they are in the second phase of their data journey, where like they're looking to really seriously unlock the power of data in there, like to support like more sales growth or other functions. And so that's why they are looking for a leader who can set the and establish and drive the vision for data and analytics and AI and ML, right? They are looking to establish data as an asset. They're working on modern data practices, right? And they're looking for stuff in data stewardship and data literacy. So as you can see, like these are at this point right now, I'm just gathering clues as to like what are all the things that you're looking to see in the ideal candidate. And then further, they clearly call out, and this is where the environment comes in, right? They clearly call out we want someone from a retail industry experience and who has worked on retail specific use cases. So again, industry alignment, right? We want somebody who has driven large scale transformation initiatives, as well as who have led large data organization. These are like the environmental aspect, like not environmental, but like you're pertaining to what kind of environment you have been in. And so we'll use this in our messaging. So for comparison here, like, so now that we have seen the job description, as you can see, these are the snippets from a resume. This person, if you I have not highlighted anything here, because if you pause the screen and if you read through the entire the resume, literally every single thing aligns here. So it would be a lot of red lines. But the point that I'm trying to make here is, when you are a good fit for a role, then it's you don't have to tweak your resumes and so on and so forth, right? You just like everything just clicks if you have written, of course, a great resume here. So all of those things that they're mentioning, everything has a mention of over here. So even in my message, I'm not even gonna tell them all of these numbers and like how clearly these things align, because like even if they look at the resume, they can pretty much find those things out. And especially because like for this SVP level position, I'm reaching out to the CIO of Macy's. That's a really big, really high up position. So I'm going to make sure like my messaging could be as crisp as possible. And from there, if this messaging is on point, I will attach my the resume along with this email, and um, that prompts them to get a to look at the resume. And when they do look at the resume, that pretty much gives them a very clear picture about like, hey, everything seems to align. So here I'm starting with like, hey, I hope you're doing well, congratulations on assuming your this particular role. This is something I read from their profile, so that's why we wrote it. That personalizes the whole thing, right? Then you're gonna talk about, you're defining their problem, like, hey, I see you're looking for a leader in retail space who can do XYZ. You drive the strategic use of data as a strategic asset and establish their vision and roadmap for the same. Okay, so this is something that they're looking to do. This is their problem. You call that out right off the bat, right? Then you showcase the alignment, like, hey, so in my previous organization, so American Eagle Outfitters, okay, good, retail company, leading 300 people data organization. I've already demonstrated this is a large organization. And then they have driven a strikingly similar transformation. I just use this word instead of like detailing these things out. Sometimes I would detail things out. There's another example I'll show you where I'm detailing things out. But here, because everything literally seemed to match, I don't have to write it all out over here, right? And then from there, I'm gonna use a very short paragraph about supporting my reasoning, like, hey, you're looking to do XYZ things. You're looking for modernization, cloud migration. You're looking for advanced analytics use cases in retail specific scenarios, right? You are looking to so I mentioned the Gen AI for revenue generation and planning use cases, right? And we were also looking for data literacy and data governance efforts. So I put a mention of that. And then kind of like I'm reiterating the value over here. by saying like, hey, I believe I'll be a great fit for doing XYZ things with Macy's data organization in the future. So, and then once I have with this little thing, all I've done is like, hey, you guys are looking to solve this problem at a very high level because, of course, if I'm reaching out to them for an SVB level role, I'm not going to go into the technical nitty gritties. I'm just like going on point with like, hey, this is what you're looking for, this is why I'll be a great fit, and then I'm giving them a very easy call to action, saying like, hey, I understand you're probably very busy, so if you like my candidature for this role, please share this with your recruiter and I can work directly with them. So picture this on a Tuesday afternoon, right? They're sitting across, this email pops up, and then they're like, oh, yeah, this guy looks good. They have done, oh, I'll look at the resume. Everything seems to check out. This is a really good, great candidate, right? You know what? I'm going to forward this to my recruiter, Jenny, and Jenny is going to take care of all of the scheduling and all. Because, like, otherwise, like, a lot of people do is like, hey, if you are available, we can have a call, this and that. That scheduling is a mental effort. They kind of forget about that, and then that never ends up happening. So you want to give an easy call to action. So hope that makes sense. Another example that we are looking at is like is a cybersecurity role, right? Again, a really large company, Broadridge. They are so a couple clues on the same lines that I picked up from this job description was, hey, this is an evolving threat landscape, right? They do mention that. Of course, they are in the financial services space, so one of the more critical places where like the threats keep coming in, right? They are looking to set up a strategic vision. They are looking to lead and grow a team. They are looking for endpoint security, network security, secrets management, and data leakage prevention. They are looking for intrusion detection prevention methods. They are looking for managing defenses against like denial of services attacks. And then they are looking to build a team, right? So with all of these clues, I'm not going to show you the resume because like it's already pretty much aligning. But with all of these clues, this is how the message comes out. And this is especially where I have, instead of like putting things at a high level, I have gone a little bit deeper, because these kind of this is another flavor of like writing. So what I like to do is like uh, I put in these bullets that are very highly corresponding to these. I use the words that they want to use, and then I talk about my experience along those areas that they are looking to work on, right? So again, the same structure. I empathize with the problem first, and then I showcase a really strong alignment over here by saying like, hey, I have been in a similar sized organization doing similar kind of things, right? Especially working on these technologies, these kind of, yeah, these areas which are critical to you, and like so that will help you directly enhance the threat detection and security operations, which seems to be the primary concern of the role. I call that out very crisply over here, and then I say like, hey, there are some other highlights that I would like to call, and all of those little points over here, like, hey, I'm looking for endpoint security, network security, and intrusion management, and all of that. I have mentioned those as bullets, and ultimately like, hey, that I'm also able to set up the vision and grow a team. So people leadership is also called out. So when somebody reads this kind of message, even if they don't open the resume, they can already see like, hey, somebody has worked in a similar kind of environment doing similar kind of thing, and they have sufficient proof in terms of like the bullets that they have shared. So this may be a good fit. And then when they open the resume, they can also validate that again, and super easy CTA towards the end, and that pretty much works like a charm. This also just like the last message, this also led to an interview. So that's and this is what pretty much is to it, right? If you understand, if you are really a good fit, and if you understand at a very high level, like what core essence are they looking to do by hiring for this position, what is the core charter of that role, and you can come up with the right supporting arguments for that. That's all you need. And of course, this works really, really well. I hope this video was helpful. Couple closing notes I want to give is like in this video we learned about like what to write to the hiring manager once you, of course, have the contact of hiring managers to get an interview. But if you want to find out how to find out the hiring manager, well then you want to watch the part one of this video where we show exactly that. And then again, of course, you may not get it right 100% of the time. Not every time that you send out this outreach you might get a response, and that's okay. You only need to win once, right? You only need one job. So, and again, this process works. We have landed about hundreds and hundreds of interviews in the last few months alone. This is like some of the like it's a tough job market, and this process beats every single approach very smoothly, right? And the process is simple but not always easy, because it does take time, effort, and expertise. That's why most people either don't do it at all. This is like the biggest problem. Most people don't even do it, right? When they do it, they do it very poorly, or they do it inconsistently, because um, it takes time, if it takes effort, it takes know-how, right? And then because of that, if that thing never happens while there are other people who are doing these set of actions and they are getting the results, then that's that's not right as well, right? So we have solved this problem for you. We offer a complete done for you service for all of your job search efforts, where we will position you as an expert in a narrow market. So if somebody sees that, like, hey, if you are a healthcare industry leader and if you have done a specific kind of initiative, and another healthcare company is looking for just that, they can clearly see that you are that fit, right? So we position you in a narrow area of expertise. We create a resume and LinkedIn profile for you. Will find and apply for the roles on your behalf, for the roles where you're really good fitting in. And for those roles, we also find out the hiring managers, which I talk about in the past video. And then we also research their requirements to write a compelling email to the hiring manager. Yeah, once you do start landing the interviews, we'll provide you with interview prep and offer negotiation consultation. And we end up becoming a one-stop shop for you for all of your job search related efforts. If you're looking to explore our services, you can do so at www.wolfmentoring.com. And that said, I hope this was helpful. All the best, and I'll see you in the next one.